Hey everybody, it's Odera with another meal, and today we're going to be making spaghetti squash beef casserole. I really like this dish. I made it so many times. I think I was pretty surprised by how much I liked it, and I'm almost certain that I got this from All Recipes. All Recipes taught me so much. Unfortunately, their app is less than perfect, shall I say. A lot of technical difficulties there, but All Recipes, I would say allrecipes.com taught me everything that I know, or most of what I know. I really learned a lot from them. So kudos to them for bringing me this recipe. Now let's get right into what you'll need to make this dish. So first you're gonna need half a spaghetti squash, about, I think, half a cup of cheddar cheese, a small can of tomato sauce, some garlic salt, some onion powder, and some basil leaves, and some ground beef. You're also gonna need a big knife, some parchment paper, and a baking pan and a frying pan to cook everything in, and a 1/4 teaspoon for the seasonings. Okay, so as you can see, this spaghetti squash is already cut in half. You could definitely watch some of my other videos to see how I chaotically cut spaghetti squash. Or if you like to be safe and you take your life seriously, I would go on Google to find a more certified way to cut spaghetti squash. It is no easy feat, no matter what you do, unless you just buy it frozen and pre-cooked from Albertsons. That is also an option. I don't think, maybe Walmart has it too. I'm not sure. One thing I do know is that it's really hit or miss. You don't see it every time in the frozen vegetable aisle, but it's an option. Anyway, we're gonna take out all the guts. Make sure you get all the seeds, everything that you can. You wanna take it out before we put this baby in the oven, which you should have preheated, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you that sooner. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees, even if you didn't. I didn't either, but you know, this is YouTube, so it's only gonna take me about 3 seconds to bake this. In reality, as you will soon see, it took me about an hour and a half to bake this, which is not completely, how would I say? That's not really, I would say, abnormal for spaghetti squash, given that I didn't preheat my oven. But yeah, so we're throwing it in, we're taking it out, and usually what I look for is, you know, significant browning on the outside of the spaghetti squash. I saw a little bit. I probably would have liked more, but it's not make or break. Actually, I don't know. I get really picky about that sort of thing, so I probably would have liked to cook it more, but I was probably getting impatient. It was an hour and a half already. If there's at least some browning on the flip side, then that should be good enough. And I think there's a little bit of browning on the other side. I think this would be caramelization, yeah. But really, you just want the inside of the spaghetti squash to flake like spaghetti. If it doesn't do that, if it's kind of stiff, throw it back in there. You probably, it's not the end of the world, but still, throw it back in there. Do yourself a favor, right? Anyway, now that our spaghetti squash is certified done, we're gonna take it out of the fray and let it cool. Now we're going to cut our beef. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Anyway, what I meant to say was something you'll notice that I do very often is I tend to use half a pack of things. That is just largely due to how I ended up, creating a lot of these recipes. But yeah, I mean, it's really nice to save the other half, throw it in the freezer. Doesn't really go bad very quickly, and you'll always have a serving ready to go. Anyway, now that we have half a pound of ground beef, we're going to cook it in the pan. I skipped over a lot of footage because it was quite boring to watch, let me tell you. But before we skip over the entire cooking process, we will add some garlic salt and some onion powder. I think my onion powder caked up a bit. That was a huge lump that just fell out, but I think I was aware of it, so we're rolling with it. Anyway, I usually like to brown the beef with a fork and knife or a proper spatula, you know, if I'm feeling fancy. And yeah, we're just gonna break it up like so. As you can see, now we have small little nuggets of beef, which is what we want. And at this stage, we're going to add the tomato sauce. Now I'm also gonna skip through a lot of footage here because we're really just trying to reduce the the tomato sauce. And when I say reduce, I pretty much mean evaporate the water so that the sauce becomes thicker. It's already a decent consistency, but I want it really, really thick. That's just how I like my sauce. And the spaghetti squash already has a lot of water to it, so we don't need any more from the sauce itself. We're also going to add some basil. I'm quite surprised that I didn't just add oregano, but I think the original recipe called for basil, so I was like, I'll respect it. I never use basil. I always use oregano. It's quite shocking to me because I think basil gets more press. But anyway, I wonder how Italians feel about that. Maybe they're the only ones who use that seasoning. Anyway, sorry, let me not get sidetracked. Here, what I did was I put the spaghetti squash on the bottom, then I put the tomato sauce and the beef on top, then I put the cheese on top. You can mix it all together in the pan and tell me if you thought it was delicious. Tell me if you thought it was nasty. Hopefully you thought it was delicious. Here's the price per meal breakdown. Here's the nutrition facts. I really love this recipe. It's so delicious to me. I made it so much. I haven't made it recently, but the spaghetti squash is kind of a lot. But anyway, comment, like, subscribe, and I hope you're having a nice day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!